So what exactly is in the Mithra Treatment? That's what we're going to be looking at today on the Dark Crystal Conjunction. Well, howdy y'all, and welcome to the Dark Crystal Conjunction, your YouTube space to nerd out about all things the Dark Crystal. In our last video, we looked at an excerpt from Jim Henson, the biography, the book by Brian J. Jones, to get an understanding of the history behind the Mithra Treatment and how it all started off, and some history behind the Dark Crystal as well. And this week, we're going to do another excerpt from a book, one page from Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal, The Ultimate Visual History, written by Caseen Gaines. This is a wonderful book. I can say many things about this, but this will just give you a preview of the book, how thorough it is, and also answer the question of what the Mithra Treatment is. So with that, let me read. This comes from page 21 of the book, titled The Mithra Treatment, and it reads, quote, "Having made a gentleman's agreement with Froude, Henson began thinking of ways to harness his new collaborator's artistic, aesthetic, and sensibilities. What Jim wanted to do, and it was totally his vision, was to get back to the darkness of the original Grimm's fairy tales," Frank Oz said. He thought it was fine to scare children. He didn't think it was healthy for children to always feel safe. After talking through ideas with his 5 children, Henson completed a rough treatment for his still untitled film on August 4th, 1977. Set in a fictional world he called Mithra, the story centered on a young boy named Brian, no doubt in homage to Jim's older son, the lone surviving member of the Unazi race. Brian was raised by the Bada, strange and mystical wizards, who engaged in bizarre religious rites, and doesn't know that his biological father was actually Malcolm the Wise, the ousted ruler of Mithra. The Bada are ruled by the Reptis, who are sunken in character, depraved, corrupt, and vicious, and cruel to one another. These evil creatures rule the Mithra region from atop a mountain after having achieved power through a coup that resulted in the extermination of the Unazi race when Brian was only 2 or 3 years old. They have uncontrollable tempers and repugnant faces, covered in hair and scales, their horrific visages strongly contrasting with their ornate clothing. Ruling over the land with an iron fist, the erratic Reptis have complete control of Mithra's wealth and enjoy unchecked power. Mention is made of several other Mithra beings, although they are less developed in Henson's treatment. The soldiers in the army of the Reptis have bodies that are encased in metallic armor-like uniforms. These malicious, violent, and brutal barbarians enforce the Reptis rule of law. The peasant tribes serve the Reptis by making their clothing and catering to their daily needs. At the bottom of the societal chain is the underground tribe, supervised by the army of the Reptis and designated to mine for jewels and metals. Beyond the different sects of species that populated the world, Henson wanted each living organism in Mithra, the flora as well as the fauna, to have a specific societal function. Living things in Mithra possess abilities of speech, locomotion, hearing, smell, and taste, he wrote. The mountains converse with one another in incomplete thought phrases. Although sometimes forgetful, they are environmental historians, witnesses to all the past and present. Rocks and boulders are not stationary. They can maneuver under their own power. Just days after the Mithra Treatment was completed, Jim Henson officially hired Froude, and the artist got to work, using Henson's treatment as a guide. Jim was eager to get started. Since summer 1965, he had recorded a 1-line log of significant life moments in a journal, which has since become known as the Red Book. On August 8, 1977, Henson submitted a new entry: "We make great deal with Brian Froude to make a great film." End quote. So there you have it. There's our reading today from The Dark Crystal, The Ultimate Visual History by Caseen Gaines. Again, an excellent book. This finally answers our question about the Mithra Treatment. Hope you all enjoyed this history about the Dark Crystal movie. Until next time, keep exploring Thra.